If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as follow me and subscribe to me on all my other social media platforms. What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with another episode of Under the Radar for you guys. This week we are taking a look at some albums that came out on February 3rd that I did not give a full review to. I covered Memoriam and Sanguisugabog. Now time to talk about a few others, and probably the next biggest one that came out during the 3rd would be the latest album from Metalcore pioneers All Out War with Celestial Rot. So, I'm familiar with All Out War. I believe I reviewed their last album that came out in 2019. I believe it was called, like, Crawl Amongst the Filth. Something like that, and it was brutal, and it was heavy, and it was extreme metalcore, where basically, or you could call them Slayercore, because they are so inspired by Slayer. Here, this sounds like a new chapter is being written for All Out War, where you pretty much are getting now, like, black metal and death metal elements kind of commingling into their classic metallic hardcore or metalcore, whatever you want to call it, sound. And man, the production on this album, it's like, yeah, there are moments, like I checked out the review from my boys at the Thralls of Metal, and I will agree, it does sound like the vocals kind of overpower the guitars a lot of the times, but whenever you do get those guitars, man, do they pack a lot of crunch and atmosphere to them. The drum work, it's like the drummer's just going everywhere. You get your thrashy D beats, you get some really cool hardcore grooves, and blast beats. And I definitely think whenever they're adding in these more classic extreme metal elements of black metal and death metal, it's able to kind of amplify the metalcore vibes that you get from All Out War. So, and also probably another complaint apart from production is, again, I would say, same thing as the Thralls guys did. Yeah, a lot of the transitions you get on this album are a little bit abrupt, and it does kind of ruin the flow for some of the songs at times, and some of these songs kind of run together. But I will say that a lot of this stuff was really, really good, but it does suffer from its shortened frame, like it's only 25.5 minutes. I think this album could have benefited and could have expanded on some of these songs if they was given, like, maybe at least 3.5 minutes per track, and I think that would have made this album better. But overall, 7.5 out of 10 would be a fair score for me to give on this album. It's good. I don't think it's as good as the previous album, but even though this is heavier, and they're expanding on their sound in terms of bringing in new influence, I think if they just added more to the songs and expanded on them, I think it would be a better album. But then again, it's a 7.5 out of 10. Now on to the second album for Under the Radar, and that is a debut of a new project featuring former members of The Faceless and current members of Abhorrent, and it's called Mithridatum with Harrowing. So this is a debut. This band started just last year, and this is their first album, and already on a pretty big label, Willowtip Records. And every time I've listened to stuff from Willowtip, I have never been disappointed, whether it was an Abstract Illusion, Hoth, or Defeated Sanity. That's who I was trying to think of. So Willowtip has some really good bands, and this band, no different. So they're described on Metal Archives as technical blackened death metal, and that is a fitting description of what this band is all about, because you get some, like, black metal tremolo riffs in here, but you get a lot of dissonant death metal. Hell, if I could just describe this album in 2 words, dissonant chaos, because holy shit, does this album just go wild. And also, if I were to best describe this band to compare to other bands, this almost sounds like what would happen if Ulcerate and Deathspell Omega had an evil, demented, chaotic child. Out comes Mithridatum. So That's honestly the best way I could describe it. It's like you get like the chaotic elements and the Blackened influence of a Deathspell Omega with the atonal death metalness of Ulcerate just mixed together. And it's only 5 songs, but it's 35 minutes long. So I actually was kind of wanting more because I was really digging this album. The productions, like, everything sounded really cool. Maybe the drums were just a tad over everything else. Like, that snare packs a punch, and it kind of... They're maybe a hair loud over the guitars, the bass, and the vocals, at least for me. And then the big complaint I had, on the final track, it just suddenly ended. Like, it sounded like there was still more coming, and then it just suddenly stopped. I don't know if something happened in the mixing or whenever they recorded it and or mastered or what have you, when it just cut off, or they did that for dramatic effect. I don't know, but I didn't really like that so much. But other than that, this is a really damn good debut. I'm giving this one an 8.5 out of 10. So if you're a fan of Ulcerate and or Deathspell Omega, you're gonna dig this band because it's just chaotic, it's dissonant, it's technical, it's out of control. And that does it for this week's Under the Radar. So I checked out 2 albums, and they were both pretty good to really good. So what did you guys think of these 2 albums? Let me know in the comments section below, as there will be links in the description box for you guys to check out these albums. And until next time, horns high, see you guys later.